Welcome back. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to sign in the user. Now, you might say, hey, we have signed in the user already. So why would we do it again? What is the purpose of this? Well, we signed in the user, yes, but we didn't get the data about the user yet, as we didn't have the data before. Now, in the last video, we added the data about the user, and we want to store additional information about, for example, the boards that the user is assigned to or has created with all of the different tasks that he has to do and so forth. So in order to implement that, we need to create a new function in our Firestore class. So we have this function called register user. Now let's go ahead and create one which is going to sign in the user. All right, fun sign in user, and we need to have the activity. So it's not the sign up activity, it's the sign in activity that we need, because we actually want to execute some code from the sign in activity. So let's go ahead. Now the thing is, we're going to use a similar approach than, or as we have done with registering the user. The difference is that we don't want to set something, we want to get something. So let's just copy this code that we had here, and I'm gonna go over it real quick. So we need the Firestore again. We need to access the collection constants users. We want to get the document that is assigned to the user that is currently logged in, so current user ID. But then instead of setting something, we want to get something, and we don't need to pass in any additional information. We just want to get something. All right, and here let's just get rid of those entries for now. So here, instead of just displaying, or instead of doing what we did before in our registering class where we used the registered success, we will do the same thing with login success. Okay, but in order to do so, first of all, I'm going to prepare this by having a new variable which is going to store the logged in user, because I want to know more about it. And the thing is, our document gets us this information. So the document has all of the information at the current user ID. So here I want to use this document and make an object of it, to object. Now the document from here, in order to get it, what we need to add is a little lambda expression. All right, so here we just say, okay, document, give me the document, and once I have it, I want to make an object of it. Now, when you use the toObject method, you also need to say of which class you want to use the object method. And I want to use it for this user. So I want to make a user object out of whatever is given to me in the document. All right, so here I can just say, okay, make a user out of this. Okay, so this is going to give me the logged in user. Now let's look at it in the database. So in the database, it will be this user here, which is YQQHM and so forth. All right, so this is going to be the user object that I want to have. This is the UUID that I just got from the getCurrentUser function. And then these are all of the information for that object. So here, now I have the logged in user. Now I know about him. I have his address. Well, we didn't store his address, but I have his email address, I have his name, and so forth. All right, so now I can sign in that user, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call activity dot sign in success and gonna pass in the logged in user. Now you might wonder, what is the sign in success function? Well, we still need to create it. So inside of the activity that is passed to us when we sign in, and it's in the sign in activity. So let's go ahead and create a new function here, which is going to be called sign in success. So fun sign in success is going to be a new function here, which needs a user object. So we're going to pass a user to it. All right, now let's import user here. And we're talking about our own user, not the Firebase user. So the user that we created from our model. And here, hide progress dialog. So first of all, when we are signed in, we want to hide the progress dialog, and then we want to start an activity which is going to send us to the main activity. So similar to what we did when we registered. So here, this part here. Okay, let's do that. So start activity, intent from this activity to the main activity. And then also let's finish the current activity so that the user can't get back to this login or sign in activity anymore. So this is called sign in success. And this is of course also only going to be called when we actually have a successful listener here, or if we had success when getting the collection of the user with the current user ID. All right. So we pass in the logged in user, and it could be null. That's what it's saying here. But we can force it here, or we can add a check. So if you really wanted to make sure that it's of the right type, if you want to make sure that it's actually not going to be null, you could add something like if logged in user not equal null, then execute this code here. All right. So then it's still complaining here in the add-on failure listener because it doesn't like my activity that I'm passing here. So let me just say something like Firestore class sign in user. And that's a long or too long name. Still too long. Firestore. Well, let's just say sign in user. And now we can go ahead and test our application. All right, let's sign in. It was dennis@gmail.com and then the password. And we are transferred to the main activity. All right, so this seems to work as well. All right, now we are logged in and we have the user information. Now we could display the user information here, and we could add a settings image or screen, which we will do later on, and a lot more. All right, so let's go ahead and do some more stuff in the next video. See you there.